welcome back to Reading Sprints and Chai Sips. I'm your girl, Sasha Bonet. We are here for another episode of a serial unfinisher of series. Why am I a serial unfinisher of series? Because I just do not finish series. In a previous episode, I showed you all that, and I completed 4 books. And by completing those 4 books, I finished 2 series and got further in 2 other series. This episode of a serial unfinisher of series, I am only going to be tackling 3 books. Let me show you what they are. They all happen to be YA as well. I didn't even realize that. But we have Bruja Born. This is the duology of the series by Zoraida Cordova. I read the first one. It was okay. It was Labyrinth of Laws. The other one is Rivals American Royals 3 by Catherine McGee. But yeah, this is the 3rd one in the series. I think there's 5 books. So and they always say like American Royals, or what's the other show? I don't know what the other show is. Or Royals? Not American Royals. American Royals is this. Royals is the show. That if you like that show, you'll like these books. I guess I've never watched Royals, and I really don't plan to, but this is juicy enough. It's very YA-ish, but it's okay. So if I complete this one, I'll get closer to the 4th and 5th books, I guess. But then we do have this one. Now this is Bone Criers Dawn by Catherine Purdy. Now the first one, which was Bone Criers Moon, I actually enjoyed a lot, and I like reading this in tandem with the audiobook because of the accents and the language. I want to say either Scottish or Irish. I really enjoyed the first one. This is the one I'm going to start this video off with just because I'm not familiar with the characters, but I think this one is a more easier read. $3.92. But anyway, this one is about if George Washington never stepped down and our American country became a monarchy instead of whatever we have now. And this is his lineage. The Washingtons have run America since George Washington's days. And again, this is more of a TV show kind of book. So it has the royals and who they're sleeping with and who they're dating. And our queen now has become queen because her father has passed. And we have the heir, the spare, and the other. All of that stuff is all in here in these books. And it's very enjoyable, very easy to read. Do I think it's going to be a 5-star? No, but I do enjoy them. This has a potential to be a 5-star for me, because I enjoyed the first one so much. This one does have the potential. But anyway, like I said, we're going to start with this one, and I'll bring you my interim thoughts. Y'all, I have finished Rivals American Royals Book 3 by Catherine McGee, and it was a flop for me. It is 2 stars. I am debating whether to continue with the series because I am no longer interested. I am no longer entertained. If you've read this series, you know everything that happens, right? I haven't read book 4 or that prequel kind of book that came after book 2. Those are the last 2 books that I have to read, quote unquote, if I finish the series. But I feel like someone please let me know what Prince Jefferson does. How he is a good man. He cheated on Daphne with Nina, okay? And then after sleeping with Nina is when he broke up with Daphne. Just for them, Nina and Jeff to break up and him to go back to Daphne. And 2 seconds after telling Daphne he loves her, he kisses Nina in the garden. Just for Daphne to say, I'm late, and him to say, don't worry, I got you. What does Jefferson bring to the table that Nina has to be so head over heels in love with him? Quickly, tell me quickly. It is a crush that has gone on way too long, and someone needs to check her about it. I volunteer as tribute. Now, we all know why Jefferson is end all be all for Daphne, because she needs him. Her family needs him. Whether that is absolutely true or not, or in their heads, whatever. So I can understand Jefferson for Daphne. What does he bring to the table for Nina? Did you get that? Okay. Also, when it comes to Sam and Marshall, I'm over it, because it never occurred to her or anyone else. Like, the Washington name in this book, the Washington name lives on through the children, right? The children have children who have children who then have children. It will always be a Washington that rules over America, right? But when another person of nobility loses their titles, it's kind of like they're lost for good, especially if you've worked hard, or that family has worked hard, whether it's a white family, black family, whatever. They've worked hard for their titles. It never occurred to anyone else um, that Sam should have renounced her title if she wanted to be with that boy so bad. The only problem I have with Sam is that Nina is also a minority, doubly, like quadruply so, because she's a woman. She is Hispanic, Latinx, but she also has two moms, and it never occurred to Sam to say, how do you handle, because you're a regular person, how do you handle when the newspapers drag you through the mud? Like, she has never seen them talk about her. To me, Nina is a pet to Sam. That's it. She's just a pet. I'm over it. Like, I know a lot of similarities have been like, oh, if you like Royal Watchers, we've got just the read for you, and that came from E News. I don't think it's for me, because this isn't for me. And every book that has been compared to that show, I haven't liked. Now, do I like salaciousness in books? Yes. Do I like mess in books? Yes. If it's done correctly, and if it always has an end game. All we have is Nina running from boy to boy to boy to boy to boy, and never getting anything out of it but used. We have Jefferson, who always seems like an airhead, even though I'm guessing he is a little bit smarter than what we give him credit for. He just has never had a reason to show it, so he doesn't. Um, Daphne is conniving, manipulative, and even though you're supposed to dislike her, which I kind of do at points, I still enjoy Daphne more than anybody else in this book. Beatrice is annoying. Sorry to say. I hope Teddy leaves her. I mean, now that we got here, we know what happens to Beatrice by the end of this book. It'll be hard for him to leave her because of that situation, but I don't know what to say, because generations upon generations in real life and in these kind of books have gone by knowing what is wrong and how to fix it, and they never do. They never do. They just let their children be born into the same world that they were born into, and say, I hope it works out for you. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know if I'm going to continue, but I do know I own books 1 through 3, and they will be on hold, because I know for a fact I will never read these books again. They will never be the kind of books that I go back to for nostalgia reasons. Oh, I want to go back to that world. Alternate history is just the Washingtons, because slavery still happened. All of that other stuff still happened. The only thing that did not stop was America going through the process of multiple presidents. We just, in this book, it's the alternate history is if George Washington never stepped down, he became king, and now his lineage lives on. So yeah, this is a no for me. Now, will I continue? I might listen to that prequel book. I might even listen to the fourth one of this. So I'm not saying I'm DNFing the series, but I know I don't need these books. I don't need them on my shelves taking up space or anything like that. So they will be on hold at the end of the month or whenever. But moving on in this video, on to the next book. I finished Bone Criers Dawn, which is a duology. The first one is Bone Criers Moon, and this is the Bone Grace duology. I finished this today, and I gave it 3.5. It also kind of brought a tear to my eye because it gave the question of kind of like, well, for me, myself, having lost a parent before, having lost a parent, period, I know kind of how it feels to have the thought in your head, if I could say one last thing to them, or see them again, speak to them again, just look at them again, do something that we used to do before again, right? And that came up in this book, and it was so sad. But if you've read this series, you know that that's basically the way the series starts, because Bastion Bastion is trying to get revenge on Bone Criers, because that is their duty, is to kill their Amaris, the loves of their lives, as a blood sacrifice. Get pregnant by them, then kill them, and as a blood sacrifice. And his father was a part of that, and so that's his whole thing, is he wants revenge on Bone Criers. But it goes deeper than that when you get to this book, when you find out the manipulation and the plotting and the scheming that the matron of the Bone Criers of this place had done. All of her scheming, manipulating, plotting, twisting and scheming, putting people against each other. But yeah, so this I gave 3.5 stars. I'm glad that I have now finished the series. So with this book, I have finished a series, and I am ecstatic about that. But yeah, this is a keeper. I'm going to keep it on my shelves. I would reread this series again. No time soon, because I just finished it. But I would reread this series again. I recommend. I have one more book to read for this video, and I don't know if I'm going to get to it. But we'll see. If I get to it, then I get to it. If I don't, then I'll wrap up in the next clip. Hey y'all, we have come to the end of the video. I did not have time to record any interactions with the third book, but I did finish it. So let's wrap up. I have gotten closer to finishing the series of the American Royals. Like I said, this series will be, the 3 books that I own will be on hold. I don't see myself ever returning to this series ever again. Like I said, this third book has an ending that pulls you back in. I was out for 90% of this book. The ending, because I'm like, oh my goodness, they had, like, Catherine McGee just had to give us something to say, you nosy enough to want to know what's about to happen in the next one. And I am, go figure. So I'll continue it, but I think I'll just be listening to it on audio. Next was Bone Criers Dawn by Catherine Purdy. This one I enjoyed. I gave it 3.5, even got a little choked up, a little emotional at the ending of this one. I didn't enjoy this second one as much as I enjoyed the first one, but it is a solid duology if you're interested in kind of like blood sacrifices to gods that are kind of manipulative, and because they're hurting themselves, they choose to hurt everyone around them and falsely spew things that they know people are willing to believe because they believe in said gods. I enjoyed the book, and this is a series I will return to. Also a series that I have finished. I am so happy that I'm finishing series. So I'm becoming less of a serial unfinisher, but I still am a serial unfinisher, obviously, because we have so many of these videos to do. Last but not least, I did not give any interim thoughts, so I'm going to give my final thoughts on this. This is not a duology like I thought it was. I was duped by my own lack of knowledge and research that I did of this series. I got the first one as a gift. I think I bought this one because after I finished the first one, I was like, it was okay. But it is a series, so let's continue the series. This one I disliked wholeheartedly. Now, I don't know why I thought it was a duology anyway when there are three sisters. So obviously, three books, three sisters. This is a trilogy. The first sister, Alex's book, again, it didn't bring me in, but it was an okay start to a series. The second one made me dislike this particular sister a lot. And it made me feel for the sister whose book I have not read yet. So I kind of do want to finish out the series with that book. But I am giving this one a 2.5 because it wasn't interested in the whole time. I was resenting the main character and she's a teenager. So you have to make them really insufferable for me to feel that way. So yeah. I got further into series and like I said, this one will be unhauled, the three that I own, and I will continue to read this one by listening to it on audio. And this one, I will possibly be getting the third one from the library before I actually buy it and add it to my collection. There's no need because if I get that third one and I don't like it, they're all going to be unhauled. So I might as well, instead of spending my money, just get the book from the library, which I plan to do with this one, with this series. And we have a winner for this video because the Bone Grace duology I enjoyed and I will be keeping it, and I do plan on rereading. Like, this has rereading potential. So let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these. If you think I'm being too harsh on the American Royals, let me know. But I'll see you all in the next one, because we have so many unfinished series to get to and get through. And some of them I'm even really eager to get to. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.